What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at a wireless microphone that is surprisingly affordable and reliable. Before we get into it, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below and subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot. Tell me what you think about this video or leave a comment saying what equipment you want me to try out in the future. So what we're looking at today is the Phenyx Pro Audio PTU-1U. I found them almost a year ago and I was looking at their products and I gotta say I was looking at it for like a couple months, questioning it, wondering, is this really worth it? Is this able to actually do what they say it can do? And lo and behold, it delivered. Its normal price is about $250, but I know that they run sales regularly and you can always catch a decent sale on holidays and things like that. They do sell on Amazon, so you can always find it on there as well. I'm going to try and have links for their personal website as well as Amazon down below in the description. But the PTU-1U is a cool unit. It comes with its own case that everything can be housed in. In this case, of course, you have the power cable, a shield slash rester kind of piece that goes on the microphone head itself. You receive a 1/4-inch TS cable as well as a 1/4-inch to 1/8-inch adapter. In the package, you will receive a set of AA batteries, which is what is needed for the wireless microphone itself. You get the brackets that are needed to mount it onto a rack. Something that's actually really cool too is you do actually have a hole to run the antenna if you did want to mount it in a rack and then have an antenna on the side. This is also available on the opposite side as well. So you can have an antenna on each side of the receiver. But to get the antenna connections to there, they also include the required jumper cables. So you plug this end into the back of the receiver, and then this end has pieces that screw apart, and you can mount this in the bracket piece. So you would stick this through, line it up correctly, drop the bolt on, and tighten it up until it is the required tightness. That's how you can use the jumper to get the antennas to the front side of your rack. You also receive these little rubber feet that you can put on the bottom of the transmitter if you just want it to sit out in the open. The receiver itself is a quality piece of equipment. Like it's not plastic. Most of it is like metal housing. I'm impressed with the quality again. On the backside, you'll see that it takes 1/4-inch, but it also takes XLR. So you can use XLRs to connect this into your system, which I personally have found to be more reliable than 1/4-inch. So I appreciate that they have that option there. On the front side, you have your volume knob, power, as well as some arrows and a selection button. We'll power this up in a minute just to show off what menu options you do have. And then you have the microphone itself, which again, heavy, sturdy piece of equipment. There's not even like a really flimsy piece about it. You can remove the head capsule. I'm wondering if that has to do with plans to create better heads or upgraded heads in the future. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Just be careful if you remove it and put it back on to make sure you do it correctly. You have the little screen here. This just makes sure you know you're on the right channel and frequency options and that it's actually on. You have the on button on the bottom. You can remove that, and that gets you into the battery section. On the back side, you have a switch for a high or low radio frequency power switch. With the high option, it is for better connection, better quality essentially overall, but then the low is more of a battery saving option. The one thing that I did wish was in the package with the PTU-1U is a mic clip. I did have to find some just because this is larger like a normal wireless microphone. So a Shure clip or a Sennheiser clip or just any generic larger mic clip will work with it, but it is something that you have to find on your own, which is kind of a pain. But now let's power up the unit and see what we got. So again, with the unit itself, once you have it all set up, you have your two antennas on the back as well as the power cable plugged in. You have your power switch, a volume knob, an up and down arrow, and a set/selection button. So going through, you have this IR option. This has to do with the pairing of any microphones that you have with the unit. You have the frequency. This is the manual frequency selection, so you can choose the frequencies that you want to go with. This has the channel option. The group selection was first. You have the squelch sensitivity options here. Hit it again. You have the auto channel select, and I believe it's down. We'll set it to scan for its own frequencies, and it will show you the RF and AF connection options there on the left. Here you have the lock on and off, which I have never had a use for, but I'm sure that there are reasons to use it. And then that takes you back to the very beginning. Now, the way that you pair the microphone with it is obviously have the microphone itself on, change to the IR, and then hold it right there, and you will see the connection here on the left with the RF go up. You have group 25, channel 39, group 25. Make sure you recognize that those two numbers are backwards on the microphone itself, just because that can be a bit confusing. But you see that the RF connection bars are full. Check, check. And you see the AF, the audio signal, coming through clearly. I set my volume at about 50% just because there are no sensitivity options on the microphone. So I set it at 50% just to not overpower any of my preamps that I'm using when I'm using this live. I will say that the one issue I have ever had with the PTU-1U was the first unit that I bought originally, and it ended up having an issue where it muted on the receiver as well as the transmitter, and I was not able to turn it off. I went through all of the mute options. I went through rescanning, resetting frequencies, making sure that the frequencies lined up, and it was consistently not unmuting. I could not unmute my microphone. I could not unmute the receiver. It was just having issues overall. This is not necessarily a testament to poor craftsmanship on Phenyx Pro's side. This is more of a testament to their customer service, because as soon as I reached out, I received word back asking information just to make sure they understood what was happening. And upon explaining everything clearly to them, they sent me a new unit and just simply asked that I send the old one back because they had never heard of that issue happening before. So they wanted to take a look at it for themselves. Now that you've kind of see how it works, I'll show you a couple clips of recordings from using this at live events, and we'll see what you guys think.
Till I'm 6 feet deep in my own grave. Gotta stay linked up like my gold chain. We the kids next door, you know the code name. Don't gas us, cut off the propane. Walk in the light, don't throw shade.
Trouble that might drag you down. If you're lost, you can always be found. No, you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home.
Overall, I personally find this to be a fairly reliable piece of equipment. The PTU-1U from Phenyx Pro is a great microphone. The microphone itself sounds good and the receiver quality is there. Sennheiser or Shure might be better, but I feel like a lot of that might just be in the name Shure and Sennheiser and not necessarily in the quality of the products reflecting that price. Something that I think Phenyx Pro should possibly offer in the future is options to take their wireless headset and lapel transmitters and offer those to purchase separately so that they can be used with the PTU-1U unit as long as the radio frequencies are compatible, or maybe offer that as something in the future. Because right now most of their lapel units are offered only on systems that have a single antenna. And I've found that dual antennas are much more reliable just because if the radio frequency of one drops, the other one picks it up and there's no loss of signal. You hear a lot more clarity and there is a lack of loss in connection for you. I hope you guys found this information helpful. I hope that it helps you decide whether or not the PTU-1U is for you. And maybe you can check out a couple of their other products and maybe we'll get to do a couple reviews of them on here as well in the future. Please be sure to leave a like and comment. Tell me what you think of this unit, whether or not you're going to get one yourself. And be sure to subscribe. It helps out my channel a lot, and I have a lot more content like this when it comes to reviews of gear and plugins, as well as original music and covers coming out as often as I can create them. But again, thank you so much for watching, and until next Tuesday.